Welcome everyone to the semi-final round of Gym Challenge 30 here in Sacramento Place in Pico Rivera, California. My name is Cornell, this is Maridon. We're getting set for our semi-final matchup underway right now. And I'd like to welcome you all to a very wonderful set that's going to be taking place right around now. We have here Sean Pinto versus Bryce Ong. And Sean on an interesting team here. We have Fluttermane and Cinnamore, Palmot, Rillaboom, Groudon, and Amoonguss. And for Bryce, he is going to be on that Farigiraf, Amoonguss, Raging Bolt, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Calyrex, Ice Rider, and the Incineroar. So this is our first Groudon appearance for the stream, and here we're going to be seeing a interesting matchup between these two teams. I mean, obviously it looks like Sean's team's basically designed to beat Maridon teams, but Bryce on here with the Calyrex Ice Rider, which actually threatens a whole lot of Sean's team. And so this becomes a little bit of an awkward scenario where it's like, well, do you want to go ahead and bring out all those things that are weak to the Calyrex Ice Rider, or do you want to play into the Trick Room, or do you want to go hyper aggressive with your Pokemon? Because there's obviously options for all those options. And here we go with game number 1 here of our semi-final matchup. Bryce gonna go ahead and send out Amoonguss and Calyrex, while Sean's gonna bring out the Fluttermane and the Groudon. As one's going to activate for Calyrex, it's going to give him the Nerve ability alongside the Chilling Knife from Glastrier. Grout going to activate, which will subsequently also activate Protoni's Photosynthesis, which should be for that speed booster, and it is going to be that Photosynthesis speed for that Fluttermane. Oh, big turn incoming from Sean. They're going really big with that Terra Fire coming in from that Groudon. And if you don't know, if you catch a Groudon in the wild, which you can do once you get enough snacks from the Blueberry Quest, it comes built in with Terra Fire. And here we go with our first turn of action here between Bryce and Sean. Bryce, this is going to be Sean's... No, yeah, it's Sean's Terra from Groudon to the Fire typing to make sure that that Glacial Lance is no longer super effective for that Ice typing into the Fire type, now Fire type Groudon. Rage Powder comes out from this Amoonguss. It may not matter depending on what Sean clicked for this turn. What did he click though? We are seeing Dazzling Gleam from that Choice Specs. Not doing a whole lot of damage to that Calyrex. Precipice Blades does double connect. I'll do both of these Pokemon. Not gonna knock out either of these Pokemon. Trick Room gets set up from that Calyrex. And now this becomes interesting because this Calyrex is now soliciting in the field alongside that Amoonguss here, but now we're gonna see a swap out from the Fluttermane into the Incineroar here from Sean, as we're gonna see the Intimidate come into this Amoonguss, but unfortunately next to the Clear Amulet from Calyrex, its stats won't be lowered as Groudon clicks Protect here. No Terrors come out from either Pokemon. We see a Pollen Puffle into this Calyrex Ice Rider, so it will get that HP back from the Amoonguss support that it got. And here comes the Glacial Lance, which now is just hitting 2 Fire types. And here comes that Glacial Lance into the Incineroar, not doing a whole lot of damage there, if I'm going to be honest. However, Spore to Groudon is now a threat here from this Amoonguss. Now that this Calyrex is back up and ready, Fake Out alternatively is the other option as well. But how valuable is Fake Out here? Not that valuable, as we are going to be seeing that Spore come out into the Groudon. It will take a 1 turn of sleep here in this turn. And now we're going to see High Horsepower land on that Incineroar. It's enough for the knockout. No critical hit necessary. And here comes the first Chilling Day boost for Bryce. And here comes Groudon's first turn of sleep. And here comes Amoonguss from Sean, so we know all 4 of their Pokemon. Against Bryce's only 2, which has been the Calyrex and the Amoonguss from turn 1. 2 turns left to Trick Room and Sun, so Groudon does have a chance to at least try to knock out the Amoonguss from this scenario. And Bryce is smart enough to switch that out and get that out of the way. And in comes the Farigiraf, the reason why Incineroar did not go for a Spore the prior turn. Calyrex going to protect in front of the Spore that could be coming out here now. Important to note, Calyrex's Terra types have been either Fire, Grass, or Water. This one, unfortunately though, is Terra Fire, meaning not only can it not protect itself from Spore, it leaves itself vulnerable to that Precipice Blades should it go for it. Here as it comes, it does connect onto this Farigiraf, It's gonna do just under half. One turn let the Trick Room into Amoonguss does pressure this Calyrex to potentially click a move that is not, or could just switch out here in all honesty. Could switch on the Amoonguss, but you do risk more Precipice Blades damage. And I think you're fine taking it because there's like a very low possibility of that Groudon going for a Heat Crash in this scenario. And that could leave the door open for Sean to Spore Bryce's Regraph to make sure it's become crippled here. But no, we're just going to straight up Spore into this Calyrex Ice Rider. It will take one turn of sleep minimum. This Regraph kind of free to do what it wants in this turn. It tries to go for the Uproar. It will connect onto the Regraph. It's going to cost the Uproar, but will it wake up the Calyrex? Yes, it will. Great tech from Bryce as the Calyrex now going to wake up with that Uproar. Will knock out the Amoonguss at +1 with that Glacial Lance. Groudon takes it comfortably, but now we're down to a Groudon and a Flutter Mane against Bryce's Calyrex, Amoonguss, 3 Ref, and 1 Unknown. Precipice Blades, it will miss something. It will miss the Calyrex, unfortunately. Can this knock out the Regraph though? No is the answer. The sun's gone, and Trick Room's going to return to normal. The damage, however, I believe has been done. In comes the Flutter Mane now for Sean. Calyrex goes for to protect here. A Shadow Ball is going to be the choice lock from this Flutter Mane as it tries to go for the Shadow Ball against a super effective attack. Oh, Groudon interesting enough to not go for the Heat Crash onto this Ferreira. I could have guaranteed the knockout here, but fortunately for Sean, the Precipice Blades lands onto the Ferreira, and now Ferreira goes down, but that also just leaves the door open for Amoonguss to get a free switch in here and giving a Trick Room as well. And back comes out the Amoonguss from Bryce. And Sean's now in a very tough spot because not only are you locked the Shadow Ball, meaning that it's going to be redirected away from the Calyrex, it now means that this Calyrex is going to get another Trick Room up and will definitely deal with this Groudon later in the phase. Shadow Ball not even gonna knock out the Amoonguss quite yet. A special defense drop comes in a little too late. Precipice Blades does connect the both Pokemon. Not doing enough damage to the Calyrex is very unfortunate for Sean. Trick Room likely going to come out once again, unless this Glacial Lance coming out. It's just another Trick Room coming out from this Calyrex Ice Rider. And now Bryce down to 2 Pokemon as well, but I think this Calyrex should be able to clean up the game from here. Incineroar is the last Pokemon, and that should just spell the end of the game. Although the Intimidate will get blocked by that Clear Amulet that Groudon's holding, Fake Out pressures there on the Groudon, Glacial Lance pressures on the Flutter Mane. That's just too much damage to deal with if you're Sean. But who knows? Maybe Sean doesn't go for the Fake Out here. I mean, Bryce. Maybe Bryce doesn't go for that Fake Out here. Terra gonna come out from Bryce. This might finally be a Terra Fire that we've been looking for from turn 1. No, it's gonna be the Grass Terra from the Incineroar. This could be dangerous if that's a Heat Crash heading in that direction. Now it does go for the Glacial Lance here. +2 attack will be able to comfortably knock out the Flutter Mane. Groudon not in range quite yet. But now the Calyrex is at +3 attacks thanks to the 3 KOs it got with the Chilling Neigh activation. And Incineroar gonna be able to knock off that Clear Amulet. Not enough to knock out the Groudon, importantly enough. So Groudon does have another attack this turn. Precipice Blades missed the Calyrex again. And thanks to the grass typing, Incineroar's gonna take it very comfortably. That will be, unfortunately, the end of the game for Sean. Bryce going to win game number 1. And with that, Bryce wins game 1 pretty comfortably with that Trick Room that he's been able to use. And I had to wonder, what will it take for Sean to get into this game? Maybe perhaps the coaching play can come out from this Palmont, which, yeah, I said it, this Palmont does have coaching. And because this Palmont has coaching, it could potentially power up that Groudon for a big sweep coming in for its partner. Or it could potentially just go ahead and use its strengths to its advantage with that physical attack stat. But conversely for Bryce, that Calyrex and an Amoonguss lead was just way too much defensive maneuver for Sean to handle, which allowed Trick Room to get set up twice in that succession. And because it got set up twice, you really just got no benefit from the... For the safety goggles that I got. Okay, I was just trying to look for my words there. All right, here we go. Game number 2 here between Sean and Bryce in this semifinal matchup. Who will advance to our grand finals here of Gym Challenge number 30 here for the mid-season showdown? It'll be Incineroar Calyrex this time for Bryce. It'll be Groudon and Palmot this time around for Sean. Intimidate won't affect the Groudon, but it will affect the Palmot. Palmot, though, can fake out the Calyrex. You see the immediate... Oh, really? You see the immediate Terra come out from the Calyrex here? That's going to be an interesting turn to go for. Yeah, this is a tough turn to play out for both these players, because I think I see a fake out Trick Room play for Bryce against the Groudon, but conversely, fake out could go to the Calyrex, meaning Groudon can get a free attack if you don't get faked out on that slot. We're going to see Sean go for the Terra here. And I believe this is going to be the Groudon to the grass typing once again, and it will be. I mean, Groudon to fire. Groudon to fire type. There it is. The big old chandelier coming into the... Incineroar just goes for the fake out here. Onto the Groudon. Does I want to go for the fake out at all? No, it just goes for the coaching play. It will increase Groudon's physical defense and attack, but unfortunately won't be able to use it immediately. And Trick Room does that setup. Unfortunately, though, for this Calyrex, has no moves to protect it, meaning this Heat Crash could be a problem against this Calyrex should it not be able to survive this couple of onslaughts that it could be taking from the Glacial Lance, potentially the knockoff from the Incineroar. It looks good for Bryce to go for a high horsepower, though. Just how much damage will it do at +1 defense? This Palmot really just gave that support option against that Groudon, and will take the Focus Sash usage from that high horsepower that it took for the Calyrex. What will Incineroar go for here? Knock off. We will just clean off the Palmot out of the field, and now we gotta see how much damage a +1 Prestigious Blades could be doing to all of Bryce's Pokemon. Oh, it missed something. What did it miss? It missed the Calyrex, but it should one-hit knock out the Incineroar out of the field, and it will. And Amoonguss comes in from Bryce here, so Trick Room will be taking advantage of in this very scenario, but Sean also brings his own Amoonguss here. And this just leads to a problem where you could both get spored on your restricted Pokemon, where it's like you could protect with both. It's just like what are you getting out of that turn? You're just gonna spore each other anyway. It's like, what do you want to do in this scenario? Oh, Bryce gonna switch out to Calyrex, interestingly enough. But in comes the Farigiraf as well, as now we see all of Bryce's Pokemon in play. Spore does come out into this Groudon, no protects though, so we will take this one mandatory turn of sleep. And we've seen this before, but this Farigiraf does have Uproar. But we get the Spore, and it tried anticipating... Oh wait, no, that's the safety goggles on the Farigiraf, so it cannot go to sleep whatsoever. Amoonguss switches out for that Calyrex here for Bryce, so after that much deliberation on his thinking head, it's going to be the Calyrex coming back in here against this +1 defense Groudon. But can it wake up in time is the better question, because there's a risk of going for Uproar here if you're Bryce, but I don't think you want to be doing that, because I think it'll wake up every Pokemon in play as Incineroar comes in here to potentially negate the potential Psychic coming in here from this Farigiraf. And it was the Psychic going into the Amoonguss slot, so thanks to the Dark typing, it's not going to be taking too much damage, and Groudon's going to take a second turn of sleep. Both these players taking a little bit of time to think on this turn. I could see a Psychic coming into this Groudon. We do know it's not Assault Vest, so we'll take a decent chunk of damage here. Here's High Horsepower, +1 defense. Not enough to knock out the Groudon. Will it wake up this turn? Incineroar got something to knock off, so the safety goggles is removed. That's a lot of damage. I think that might have been a critical hit. No, that's just raw power from that Incineroar. Groudon stays asleep again. So it will be able to wake up this turn, but the harsh sunlight's faded. Trick Room's gone, meaning Incineroar and Groudon are both going to be able to outspeed this Farigiraf and Calyrex combination. And I guess what's going to be happening here in this scenario is that you have to let Precipice Blades rip into that Farigiraf just to make sure you don't get Trick Room set up on you again. And Groudon is going to be able to wake up this turn. Did it even go for a Protect here? No, it just went for the Precipice Blades here. So, will it hit the Farigiraf? Yes, it will. And that means no Trick Room gets set up here, but importantly, I think this Incineroar is kind of stuck. Because you can't really do much damage to that Calyrex without going for that knockoff, which it will be doing. And in comes the Amoonguss at near full HP. Amoonguss is interesting to bring in here because, well, this Groudon's in range of a Glacial Lance. Or potentially the High Horsepower once again. We see Incineroar switch out from Sean's side into the Amoonguss once again. Bryce brought in their Amoonguss in this spot. And Groudon's just going to protect this turn. This could be vulnerable to a Trick Room phase here from Bryce. Spore goes into the Groudon there for the protect. And Calyrex is able to get the Trick Room up again. But it just played into the hands of the Amoonguss. I'm going to switch out here to make sure it doesn't get spored again, but it will lose that defense and attack boost that it got earlier. In comes Incineroar. It's still going to be weak to that High Horsepower from the Calyrex. Now it's still at neutral because of that Clear Amulet. Spore goes into the Amoonguss or into the Incineroar, but because of the safety goggles, it is immune to it. And here's the Spore into the Calyrex. It is not Terra Grass, I'll say that much. And Amoonguss kind of has a weird spot because you need to bring in the Groudon at some point. Here goes the Terra from Bryce. I think this might actually need the Amoonguss to the water typing just to make sure it doesn't get super effective damage. Oh no, it's going to be the Calyrex and fire. So no longer are you weak to Psychic, but you are now weak to Precipice Blades, which is something of a double-edged sword. Here comes Pollen Puff onto the Incineroar. It's not doing a whole lot of damage here. Pollen Puff now going to be resisted by this Calyrex. Going to take very minimal damage there. And Calyrex does the one turn wake up here, and Glacial Lance comes out. Will this knock out the Amoonguss in a single blow? It will not. What does Incineroar do here? It's going to be a knockoff onto that Calyrex. And there goes the Clear Amulet, so now it can be affected by Intimidate. And the Parting Shot that it could be going for is, could we have played a Parting Shot Spore in that spot? But I think it might be very obvious that a Protect's going to be coming in there. It's just, does Bryce want to play air? Protect safe. But you could just go ahead and just click the Protect to make sure you don't get spored or Parting Shotted at the same time. And we're going to see Pollen Puff probably finish off the Amoonguss here. Yep, there is no more Spore or Bryce to worry about it anymore. We do know that Amoonguss for Bryce is very slow indeed. High Horsepower comes out into the Incineroar, will connect, it will knock out. And that probably means Bryce is going to win this set and go into Grand Finals after a really well-controlled battle from his perspective. And we're seeing the Groudon switch in here once again. I think this is it because Groudon has no boost left. It's slower than the Amoonguss. If it protects and gets out of Trick Room, you're not knocking out anything right now because you're not knocking out the Amoonguss in one hit without the Heat Crash. And then you're susceptible to a high horsepower if you do Heat Crush the Amoonguss. You have to Precipice Blaze and hope for some kind of miracle damage on the Amoonguss. Pollen buff into that Calyrex here, making it more difficult to knock it out. It's back to full HP. Calyrex goes for Glacial Lance. The Twisted Dimensions do return to normal, but I think it's too little too late for Sean. He needs a critical hit on the Amoonguss, I think, to get back in this game, but I think this Amoonguss is able to take a Precipice Blaze from this range anyway. They will double connect on both Pokemon. I think both these Pokemon actually survive. Yeah, pretty comfortably. Here comes the Glacial Lance. Will this be enough for the knockout and the set victory? It will. Bryce Ong gonna go ahead and win the set 2-0 and advance to the Grand Finals. And we have a Calyrex Ice Rider in the Grand Finals, ladies and gentlemen. The Trick Room mode of Farigiraf, Amoonguss, and Calyrex have all been very great for Sean, as Bryce just had every bit of answer against Sean's team, where even though you got the coaching up with the Palmot, it was unfortunately not enough to get it within the range of, well, knocking out anything relevant at that point. Well, nothing to the extreme, but that was just extremely well played from Bryce there, and we're going to be seeing him in Grand Finals either against Josh Dank or Abigail Watson. Who will get there in the Grand Finals? Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.